following announcement has been paid for by Scoopman 5000.
What's up, guys? It's Scoopman 5000. Today we're back for another action figure review, and today we're looking at the brand new Ringside exclusive nWo Elite John Cena. Our second figure of John Cena from the Firefly Funhouse. We just looked at the Legends version in the debut gear, and here's the heel turn nWo version of John Cena. A great visual, a great moment from that match that was filled with great moments, and something that a lot of fans, including myself, always wanted to see that. nWo John Cena, and to see that as a reality, and now that as a wrestling figure, right up my alley. And like with most Ringside exclusives, very cool packaging here as well. We get a nice nWo kind of following announcement kind of style. This is Tradition Bites, nWo for life. This front flap is going to tear open. It's going to reveal the John Cena on the inside. On the one side, you do got the shot of him in the match, and then on the other, here is the render, same image. On the back, it's the same thing again, and then a long read-up about the figure. But despite the great packaging, I'm excited to get this guy open and put him up with all my other John Cenas and Bray Wyatts and such. So let's get to it. Let's open him up. Let's take a look at nWo John Cena. And here he is, nWo John Cena, out of the packaging. And for accessories, you're getting a decent amount here. For the alternate hands, you're getting a pair of open hands to begin with. He's also got the famous Too Sweet pair of hands, which is awesome. It's really the first official time we're getting these in a skin tone. And then finally, you're getting the pair of grip hands, and these are going to go to use when he's playing that nWo championship like an air guitar. And awesome accessory. Love to get that nWo title belt. We just got it with Hollywood Hogan, and I'm glad we're getting another one here with the Cena. You can also count the shirt and the hat as accessories, but I think they're really part of the figure. So instead, I'll show them without those pieces, and this is kind of just like a blank John Cena in jeans. And then finally, if you want to count it as well, the back of the packaging, similar to the Edgehead's Ringside figure, it's going to open up and it's going to reveal the WCW Nitro nWo themed stage. And this is awesome. Not only is it going to let you recreate this moment from the Firefly Funhouse, but also if you want to take your actual nWo figures and put it in front of that display, I think that's going to be awesome as well. This is probably going to go right onto my nWo themed shelf, and I think it's going to look great. And what we're left with here is nWo John Cena. And I think we got to start out and we got to look at that head sculpt, the real unique piece of the set. And I feel like they could have gone the easy route and they could have replaced it with this head sculpt, and that is the one that came with this Firefly Funhouse Legends John Cena, and a few other figures, the Thugonomics one as well. But they did go the extra mile, and like I said, really the only unique piece of the set is this head sculpt, but it's that perfect expression. I don't even know what you would call this expression, but it perfectly matches what he did in that moment when he threw up the Too Sweet, holding the title belt, having the time of his life, playing that air guitar, and they really captured it pretty well here. Goofy expression and all, but it looks great. It looks just like it did at Wrestlemania. And I think you get a pretty good likeness too. With this kind of expression, sometimes you can kind of lose the likeness, but that's nobody else other than John Cena. And then of course the hair sculpt, I think it is either the same based on similar to this one, but it's actually not quite the same. So I think it's all brand new ground up stuff here for this head sculpt, which is pretty cool. And I think the reason for that is because the rest of this figure is essentially old reused parts. Now the pants here, I can't quite tell because of the difference in wash here, but I believe these are the same from the Matt Hardy Network Spotlight, and might have seen them on a few other figures. But yeah, that looks about right. I see definitely on the bottom leg here the same kind of creases, but they look good. Usually from Mattel, whenever you get figures in pants, they look like bell bottoms, but this is definitely a good sculpt. For the rest of it, that body, you saw it kind of without the shirt on. It's the same exact body from this John Cena, and I'm sure a million others. It's probably the same Cena body we've been getting for 10 years, and it's covered up well by that Cloth Goods nWo t-shirt. And I think another great opportunity that comes from this figure is that you can essentially swap this head with any other Mattel figure that you have, or even older school figures like a Jax if they don't make Mattel versions. And you could expand the ranks of your nWo roster. Because really so many of those guys in the nWo, it was just jeans and the nWo t-shirt, especially if they weren't wrestling that week. So you can take tons of old school head sculpts and really make a fleshed out nWo roster. I'm not even much of a customizer, but I did order an extra just in the event that I wanted to do some swapping or use this shirt for something or the belt. There's just a lot of useful nWo gear here that's pretty generic and might work for some customs. And I'd love to go on and on about this figure, but when it comes down to it, he's simple. I think this is definitely a case where the moment outshines the actual figure when you break it down. It's John Cena in a t-shirt and jeans. But how cool is it that it's nWo John Cena? Again, something fans wanted to see for so long. They finally sort of gave it to us in this match. And to have a figure of it, I think that really solidifies it, at least for me. Because it's one thing to be excited about something when it happens on TV, but for me, getting the figure is always the most exciting part. And nWo John Cena is just about the coolest thing that's come out in a long time, I think. Going over his articulation, the head's looking up just about that far. Forward that much, the ab crunch is there. The shirt's not really going to limit it because it is cloth goods, so you're seeing it back that far. Forward that much. I got very tough shoulders on mine, and I actually noticed the same thing with this John Cena. Maybe just haven't fiddled with a Cena figure in a while, but it seems like the shoulders are kind of blocked by the lats here. So there is a hinge there, but I'm having a hard time playing with it, and I'm not going to go and break my brand new ringside John Cena. The upper bicep cut is there, the single jointed elbow, only about 90 degrees, maybe even worse, and then the hinge and the swivel as well at the wrist. You do have a rotation at the waist. The splits out is pretty decent, not kicking back, kicking forward that far. Double jointed knee is pretty excellent on the jeans, and then you're actually getting a ball joint with tons of movement, tons of rotation at the foot. And that just about covers nWo John Cena. So now we're going to go ahead, let's do my favorite part. Let's bring in some other figures and let's do some comparison. And as always, we got to start with the basic Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And here he is with the elite Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Here he is with some Bray Wyatt, the ultimate Fiend flavor, and the also Ringside exclusive elite figure, just to put the two Ringsides together, even though I think the newest Funhouse Bray Wyatt is definitely an improvement. And while it doesn't make a lot of sense, I might even get another one of these figures to put with my nWo collection, and in that case, here he is with the Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the basic Kevin Nash. And then finally, to compare him with some other John Cenas, here's that Legends 10 that we just looked at from the same Firefly Funhouse match, and then the more recent modern attire John Cena that's going to be around the same time frame as all these guys. And overall, that does do it for the Ringside exclusive nWo John Cena. And Ringside, most of the time, they just really know how to pick them with their exclusives. I think this figure is such a simply executed figure. It's all using parts that they kind of had on hand other than that head sculpt. So for Mattel, it's an easy figure to make. And for the fans, I think it's just one that you absolutely needed. I think coming out of WrestleMania that year, I think you needed Boneyard Undertaker, and then I think you needed Firefly Funhouse figures, and we got the Cena debut version and the nWo John Cena. That's going to hit a lot closer for me. That was like the coolest moment ever, and just something for all the marks like me to talk about and to gush over, and to get a figure from Mattel like this is so cool. I think it's really awesome. And so I'm going to have multiple copies. I don't even know what I'm going to do with them, but I just want nWo John Cena all over my collection. Despite its simplicity, really one of my favorite figures of the year so far. So, let me know what you think of the figure. Do you think I'm overreacting? Or do you think this is as cool as I think it is? Otherwise, I did just review that Legends John Cena alongside Vader in the previous video. Also looked at Elite 85, AEW Series 4, and then a bunch of other action figure reviews as well on the channel. As always, I'm going to leave this off with some figure photography, and you can see my library on Instagram, scoopman_5000. But that does do it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next action figure review.